Simon is bad. This is the very first, global first, character that GS has ever received, apart from, yeah. And it's pretty remarkable how bad they made this guy, but also try to make him look as good as possible. If you look at a character and you realize that his multiplier can go all the way up to 1.2 million, you have a stacking damage buff while also having a passive damage buff that goes all the way up to 1000%. All of this is a big nothing burger. I want you guys to realize that. Getting all of these conditions to go off is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in Grand Summoners, and that's mainly because how this guy is innately designed. For one, his passive. His passive only goes off if Simon is the one that defeats the enemy, which he can barely do. I'm just gonna be completely honest, because he doesn't have an attack that he can use every single wave, technically. And to add to that, he doesn't have an attack that is fast enough to be used on every single wave. So you have to opt in for using an equip like Young Emperor's True Weapon. This True Weapon resets on every single stage. It's not the fastest equip in the game, of course, but it's your best chance of actually getting stacks in most cases. I already know some of you may be like, well, OP just uses art, right? Once you get 100 arcades, just use the art every time. More than likely, everyone else on the team is going to defeat the enemies before Simon even gets close to doing it. Trust me, I've tried to do this in a few different team comps, and Simon's usually the last person to actually go off with his animations. And by the time he goes off with his art, all the enemies are gone, and he didn't get a single final blow. So, that's cool. I just want to say this is an extremely easy fix. The way you fix this whole passive stacking effect, make it to where instead of it being, oh, he has to defeat the enemy, it's just any enemy that is defeated by the team, he gets buffed. That way, it still kind of goes with the theme of Undertaker to an extent, and at least it remedies one part of the kit. You guys thought we were done? Come on now, I got a whole list here. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have already heard this, especially if you've watched any videos about Simon, or you talked in Discord servers, or you talk with some of your friends that play GS. You have friends, by the way? I'm sorry, that was kind of bad. You want some water? Actually, no, you know what? This one time I got you. Here's a glass of chalky milk. Enjoy. The man has slow animations. Extremely slow animations. We already hinted at this a little bit when we talked about the stacking, but the animations are ridiculously slow for a character like this. The reason why these animations are so slow, at least in my humble opinion, is that I think that they were scared for them to be extremely quick and make it to where it felt like you needed to summon Simon, especially if you were someone who cared about leaderboards or something else. I don't really understand that though, because the leaderboard grinders and stuff are such a small percentage of the overall GS player base. Or the other headcanon I have is that they truly didn't want to make this guy extremely broken because he was the global first character. There was no way you could prepare for him. You had no idea what he could possibly be. You didn't know if he was going to be a support character, a DPS. We had no clue, right? So that could have been another reason why they gave him so many gaps in his kit. I guess I could see that a little bit, but I also don't understand why waste so many resources, time, and money to make a character like this if you didn't want to make him somewhat good. Also, for the people that are saying he's going to be good in the mines, no, he's not. In the mines, you're still going to be using the more optimized team comps. You're going to be using the Okaruns, your Summer Miyus, any of your jumpstart stacking characters. You're going to be using them. We even have a new one now named Yomu. We'll not be using this Simon because he takes too long, and people will just be like, why would I do that? Because let's not forget, chat, people are lazy, and I am people. If I already have my Okarun and stuff set up, and I know that my Okarun team can just go through the mines pretty brain dead, especially once the new auto advanced feature comes out, I guarantee you most people are not going to be using Simon unless some way, somehow he's good in a singular boss fight, which I strongly doubt that, because anywhere Simon could possibly good in, more than likely, Saito Hajime is going to be just as good, and he's overall a better unit. He's faster. He technically can hit the enemy, so he does more damage. Not to mention he deals with evasion, so, I mean, come on now. You know what I mean? More than likely, you already have a character that can do this. Simon's not going to be your go-to mines unit. I guarantee you. Of course, the simplest way to remedy the whole animation situation is just by buffing up his animations by literally like 20%. A 20% speed buff on his animations should be more than enough to at least allow him to hit the enemies before his entire team kills the boss in a nuke composition. It feels really bad when your nuker can't even nuke because it feels like they have the weight of the world on their back and they can't move. Or in a sustained fight, it feels bad because you're never able to get this to go off when you need it. And why is that, chat? It's because of the stacking mechanic. He has two stacking mechanics. One we've talked about already, which is his passive, and the other is his true art. On his true art, he's able to stack up his super art damage and his origin bullet damage. This is perfectly fine. However, these stacks fall off. And they fall off after the initial use, which honestly, it makes this character even worse. It literally seems like they looked at some of the worst characters we have in the game right now, at least when it comes to like the ascended units, right? Like, what are mechanics that people hate the most? Oh, people really didn't like combat formula M. You know what? Let's take her and kind of like repackage her and turn her into Simon. Seems good to me. The fact that he does lose his stacks sucks, especially for his origin bullet. I'm not too opposed to him losing his stacks on his super art, just for the simple fact that you can constantly spam that, and after you use your phantom bullet, I guess that could be a bit broken, just having like 1000% damage up on the super art. But let's not forget, Okaroon more than likely is having more than 1000% damage up in most cases. So is it really that broken? Probably not. But what I'm really upset about is more so the origin bullet. You only have one of these. Unless you have your true weapon on, then you have two origin bullets. And against, I would say, 90% of the bosses in the game, you can't just insta-kill them with Simon. You have to have two origin bullets to even fully deal damage, but even then, you probably won't be able to use all of them to their full effect. The reason being is that there's thresholds. And these thresholds aren't able to be damaged through unless they're like a breakthrough threshold, right? But majority of the thresholds in this game are actual thresholds. As soon as you get to them, the boss becomes invincible, or you hit for ones, or whatever else, and it completely makes all your damage ineffective. And usually these occur at the HP thresholds that the origin bullet wants to be used on, like 50% HP or 25% HP. So it really sucks whenever you get the boss to like 50% HP, you get a little burst phase going, you activate your origin bullet, and now you do no damage because you took him to the threshold and he's invincible. Yep, you practically wasted it. So it's kind of a multitude of things. It's very loaded when it comes to the stacking mechanic and just the origin bullet in general. It's cool on paper, but the fact that it constantly resets is just terrible, along with the fact too that so many bosses just counter the whole burst through my last 50% HP type deal. You can't really do that against a lot of in-game fights, unfortunately. And this is one of the reasons why people are saying it's going to be better in the mines, because there's more enemies for you to, of course, off. And also, a lot of the bosses don't have threshold mechanics like that. But good luck stacking this guy in the mines, because like I already said, you're probably not going to off anybody with him. And you're also not going to hit the boss because your other units are going to kill the boss by the time he hits. The only thing I have for the stacking mechanic, really, is just make it to where the phantom bullet doesn't lose the stacks. I think the limit of only having two phantom bullets is already enough. It's very weird how they moved with this Simon, because I just don't really understand. They've been focusing a lot on the balance of the game, and then like the next crossover unit that comes out, whether that be for 3-0 or whatever like the next crossover is going to be, I guarantee there's going to be a unit in there that completely breaks the game. It's like, well, you guys didn't even care about game balance with this unit, but you did for certain ones. It's very weird when they pick and choose to do stuff, because we can all agree that Okaroon is a problem. This unit should have not been released. He is a huge issue for the game because he is so dominant at every single thing he does, and he kind of makes every other attacker look really bad unless he's countered. If he's countered in a fight, then yeah, other attackers get to shine. But when he's not countered, you best believe if you got Okaroon, you're gonna be using him all the time. By the way though, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all so much for hearing me yap a bit about Simon. If you'd like to leave your thoughts down below, by all means do it. Just try to be a bit cordial and don't start a riot, please. I've already had to deal with one of those. And now I'm gonna get back to playing Palworld. But before I do, don't forget to drink water.